Hello boys and girls, it's Mr. Dog Story time again, yay! And today we're going to read the story, The Cactus Hotel. And the author is Brenda Z. Guiberson, and the illustrator is Megan Lloyd. It's a really good book, and it's about the desert. And so let's read about The Cactus Hotel. By Brenda Z. Guiberson. On a hot, dry day in the desert, a bright red fruit falls from a tall saguaro cactus. Plop! It splits apart on the sandy floor. 2,000 black seeds glisten in the sunlight. In this book, I want you to see, look at all those seeds all over. Okay? I want you to see some really important pictures, okay? So, when the air cools in the evening, an old pack rat comes out and eats the juicy fruit. Then he skitters across the sand. A seed left clinging to his whiskers falls off under a palo verde tree. There he is. All right. So a pack rat is one of the animals that lives in the desert. So when the pack rat skitters off across the sand, a seed left clinging to his whiskers falls off under a palo verde tree. It is a good place for the seed to drop. A spotted ground squirrel, looking for something to eat, does not see it. And a house finch, chirping high in the palo verde, does not see it either. So this is a palo verde tree. And look, there is some kind of squirrel. It says a spotted ground squirrel. And then it says a finch chirping high. And there's a little bird. That's a finch chirping high up in the tree. And neither one of them sees the seed. After many, many dry days, a heavy rain falls on the desert, and soon a young cactus sprouts up from the ground. All right. There's the palo verde tree. These are all saguaro cactuses. They're pretty far away. They're small, but actually they're really tall. They're just far away. Okay? So it rained, and the cactus sprouted. All right? Soon a young cactus sprouts up from the ground. Just like a seed does, right? Because it was a seed. It was a seed of a cactus. Slowly, slowly, the seedling grows. And the palo verde protects it from the hot summer sun and cold winter nights. After 10 years, the cactus is only 4 inches high. It is just big enough for desert ants to climb its spiny sides. So here, that's where the seed landed, and nobody got it. And I don't know if you can see, but those are ants that are all around it. Okay? And they're climbing all over it for the desert ants to climb its spiny sides. Well, after a rainstorm, when the desert blooms with color, the cactus pulls in water with its long roots and looks fat. A young pack rat stops to drink the water that drips off the tree. Then she scurries off looking for a dry place to make a nest. So there's a lot in this picture. There's the cactus, and when it rains, it soaks up as much water as it can, and it gets really fat, and it stores that water. Okay, and you can see all the roots. Those are the roots of the cactus. Okay, and that is where it gets soaked up. The water gets soaked up in the roots. And then that is a pack rat, and the pack rat doesn't get to drink necessarily from a river or a lake or anything, because there are none in the desert. It gets to drink from the tree when the water from the rain falls off of it. Okay? Well, when there is no rain, the cactus uses up the water it has stored inside, and it looks thin. The Palo Verde loses its tiny leaves, but there is always some shade for the cactus below. After 25 years, the cactus is 2 feet tall. That's just about this tall. A jackrabbit cools off beside it and gnaws on the green pulp. But when a coyote moves in the distance, the jackrabbit disappears into a nearby hole. So this is a jackrabbit, so we know now that jackrabbits live in the desert. And jackrabbits, you can tell they're different than rabbits because of those long ears and those long feet. Okay? And then it gets scared away. It's eating some of the saguaro cactus, but it gets scared away from the coyote. Okay? So, oh, and I also wanted to point out, the cactus looks really thin and skinny because it doesn't have any water in it. It hasn't rained for a long time, and so all that water that was in it, making it nice and tubby fat, now it's used up all that water, so it's really skinny. Let's go to the next page. After 50 years, the cactus stands 10 feet tall and looks straight and strong beside the old Palo Verde tree. For the very first time, brilliant white and yellow flowers appear at the top of the cactus. Every spring from now on, the flowers will open for one night only and then close in the heat of the day. They beckon like a welcoming signal across the desert, and at different times of the day and night, birds and bees and bats come for the nectar. So after 50 years, it gets its first flowers, okay? And it's their bright white and yellow flowers appear at the top of the cactus. And they only are there for one day and one night in the spring. And the flowers will open one night only and then close in the heat of the day. And they beckon like a welcoming signal across the desert. All these different animals and birds come to this at different times of the day and night. Bees and birds and bats come from the nectar. So you can see there's the white and yellow flowers. And there are the birds, and here are some, oh, there's a bat. Look at all these birds. Maybe those are bees. They all come for the nectar. But it's only, those flowers are there only for one night. Okay? The flowers dry up after that first night and day, and after a month, the bright red fruit, filled with black seeds, is ripe and ready. A Gila woodpecker comes to eat. He looks around the cactus and decides to stay. This is the bright red fruit. Whoops, sorry about the sun. This is the bright red fruit that actually starts at the beginning of the story. Okay? There, that's a little bit better. And this is a Gila woodpecker. Okay, he looks around the cactus and he decides to stay. That looks like good food to him, right? So he decides to stay on the cactus. He has found the perfect place in the desert to begin a new hotel. Really? So that's what this book is called, Cactus Hotel. Huh. Let's see what happens. He's found a new hotel. The woodpecker goes right to work. And the only tool he uses is his long, hard beak. Tap, tap, tap. He bores into the flesh of the cactus. Tap, tap, tap. He digs deep inside of the cactus to make a space that is comfortable and roomy. It's all right there. Let's see. Okay, so he's digging a hole. He's tapping on the saguaro cactus, and he's digging a hole inside with his very hard beak. Okay? The cactus is not harmed. I was wondering about that. The cactus is not harmed. It forms a tough scab all around the hole to protect itself from drying out. The woodpecker gets a weatherproof nest that is shady on hot days and warm and insulated on frosty nights. Wow, the woodpecker found a really good home. And the cactus gets something in return. So the cactus gives a home And the woodpecker gets to make a nest and a home for itself. And what does the cactus get? He gets something in return. The woodpecker likes to eat the insects that can bring disease to the cactus. So the woodpecker eats the insects, and you can see right there, he's eating a worm. Okay, and this is the hole right here. And he dug it really deep, and he can lay in there now. And on really hot days, it's nice and shady. And on really cold days, it keeps him nice and warm. That is a great hotel. After 60 years, the Cactus Hotel is 18 feet tall. That is 3 Mr. Dougs. If you put a Mr. Doug on top of my head and another one on top of my head, then I will be as tall as the cactus. That is very tall. Is 18 feet tall. And to add more space, it begins to grow an arm. Look, that's the arm. A woodpecker has a new hole in the trunk. Look, there's the new hole. Farther up, a white-winged dove makes a nest on the arm. Right there's the dove. And down below, an old hole is discovered by an elf owl. The birds feel safe living high up in a prickly plant where nothing can reach them. Yeah, they do feel safe. So I don't know if you can see it. There is an owl, and that used to be where this woodpecker lived. But now he's making a new hole. And then, so there's 1, 2 homes, and an owl lives there now. And then the dove made a home in there too. So there's 3 homes now in the cactus. 3 rooms. Oh, and the birds feel safe living high up in a prickly plant where nothing can reach them. If you look closely, what is at the bottom right there? It is a coyote. But it wants to eat them, but it can't eat them because they're way up high. And the saguaro cactus is prickly. It would hurt the coyote to get up there. All around the desert, there are holes of every size for ants and mice and lizards and snakes and rabbits and foxes. After 150 years, there are holes of every size in the cactus too. The giant plant has finally stopped growing. It is 50 feet tall with 7 long branches, and it weighs 8 tons. It weighs about as much as 5 cars, 5 automobiles. Now look at all the different animals that are living around it in holes. Here, there's a fox. Oh, and there's the hare. What do we call it? A jackrabbit? Okay. Oh, and there's a snake. And these are all homes. Okay. There's another snake. I think that's a coral snake. And there is it looks like a gopher. And there's a Gila monster. I think that's what it's called. Did it say? It's some kind of lizard. I think it's a Gila lizard or monster. And then look, there's a pack rat. And there's some mice there too. Then if you look here, if you look here, oh, that sun is so frustrating to deal with. If you look here on the cactus, where are you? There it is. You can see all the holes that have been made for the other birds to live. So it says, giant plant has finally stopped growing. It's 50 feet tall and has 7 branches. It has so many different homes in it, so it's a hotel. Everybody wants to live in the Cactus Hotel. Birds lay their eggs, and pack rats raise their young. Even insects and bats live there. Okay, here's the eggs in one hole from a bird. Okay, and down here you can see pack rats. They're living there, and they raise their young, their babies there. Insects and bats live there too. Let's see if we can see. Oh, here's some more eggs from a bird. And I thought I saw, oh, and right here, I don't know if you can see it, there is insects. Okay, so they live in it too. And they said a bat. I was looking in here earlier and I couldn't find a bat. But look, there's 2 different kinds of owls. There's an owl, and there's an owl, and there's a woodpecker. All different kinds of, there's the dove. Different animals live there. I think that's a hummingbird. All different kinds of birds and animals live in the cactus. It's a cactus hotel. When one animal moves out, another moves in. And every spring they come for a special treat of nectar and juicy red fruit from the flowers at the top. Look, there's the flowers at the top. And when the flowers are done flowering, they leave these, that's the fruit that has the black seeds in it. And when that falls down to the ground, something will eat it, and then another seed will maybe grow. Wow. Finally, after 200 years, the old cactus sways in a gust of wind and falls with a thud to the sandy floor. Its great thorny arms crumble in the crash. Okay, it is so old it can't even hold itself up anymore. And it falls to the ground and breaks. Okay? Everything has to eventually die like that. And then the creatures that lived up high must find other homes. But those that prefer to live down low move right in. So the cactus is still a home for other animals. There's a millipede, a scorpion, and many ants and termites quickly find homes in the toppled hotel. After many months, all that remains are the wooden ribs that supported the cactus while it stood so tall. A collared lizard dashes over the top looking for insects. A ground snake huddles in the shade below. So let me show you a couple things here. Okay, let's see. There's a scorpion. And here, I don't know if you can see it, is a centipede. So insects live there, and that's a scorpion. Let me see. Oh, there's a snake. And there's another lizard. Now, all these animals now live there. And this is what the saguaro cactus looks like after all of the green has fallen off of it. And that's all that's left of it. All right, let's see. And all around there is a forest of cacti slowly growing in the desert. Through hot and cold, wet and dry, some will survive long enough to become other cactus hotels. So this is the old cactus after it has fallen. And look at all around it. There are more. And you can see holes in them where other animals live. So they continue to find homes too. So this is called Story of the Cactus Hotel, and this is a saguaro cactus, and that is what the story is about. And the hotel is this cactus because so many animals use it and live by it. And it keeps animals safe, it keeps birds safe, and it gives food to other animals. So the Cactus Hotel is written by Brenda Z. Guiberson and illustrated by Megan Lloyd. What a great story. Thanks, boys and girls, for listening, and I hope you have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye.